Holly, how does the hype for this fight with Amanda compare to the other big ones you've had already?
Every fight is different, and every experience in the past helps you prepare for your experiences going forward, and so I do feel like this is a very different fight. It's me and Amanda. It's not me and anybody else, but some of the big, kind of being the underdog or being, some of the big fights that I've been, had before have helped prepare me for this. It's a co-main event on a pay-per-view. It's International Fight Week, and, you're up against somebody who's just got, double champ from 2 different weight classes. I mean, you can look at all these things that can make you think, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Or you can be like, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to take it and make the most of it.
Is she the best female fighter ever after beating Cyborg?
I think that each fighter I fear, and I don't ever look at one fighter and think like that is the best. I think some have ups and downs, and some can be on a winning streak for a while, and some can really leave a legacy behind, by the time they're done with their career. But I don't ever label anybody like that.
Would beating her be a bigger win than beating Ronda Rousey back in the day?
I think that beating her is the biggest thing for me right now, because that's what now is. Beating Ronda was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. So I don't ever look at that like I'm not living on that moment for the rest of my life. Was it a great moment in my life? It was, but it's not something that I'm living for right now. If I was still stuck in that time, that means that I would have not gotten any better over these 3 years. I'm a totally different fighter than I am now. So is Amanda, and this is a totally different fight.
It's funny, we were just talking about that on UFC Now the other day, and it was kind of like the question was, what does Holly need to do to make sure that that moment isn't the only thing people talk about for the rest of her life? So what do you think that is?
To keep winning. I don't mind that people talk about that moment. Here's why. I always felt in my life like I want to do something that literally shocks the world.
Done that.
So that's what people remember more. That doesn't mean that they don't think that I did anything else in my career. It's just something that's stuck in their head that much. So that's why I don't mind that people remember it, because that's how much it made an impact. That's what made me known when it wasn't as, so yes, it was a big moment, but that, then later it's like, oh, we know she's already done this, so there's not the shock factor as much going forward from that. There's no way to have that much of a shock factor. So I think that's the difference, is that maybe that shock factor.
Did it make it harder, though, to process defeats after knowing that you could pull off something that incredible, and sometimes on some nights it just wasn't working for you?
Yeah, the highest highs and the lowest lows. That's what happens in this sport sometimes, and I'm just mad that I let it happen to me. I'm going forward for a win now, and I know that she's had a lot going on. She's on a long winning streak, and coming off of a huge win over Cyborg, somebody that everybody else thought was unbeatable, and so, but that just proves again that anything can happen when you get in there, and she's never faced a fighter like me, and that's the difference.
I don't want to put excuses in your mouth, because you don't make excuses, but we do know that sometimes people have personal things going on, and it manifests inside the octagon. So looking back, were there times when maybe your headspace wasn't right and that played into it?
It's definitely harder to really put all of your energy into your career when there's other things taking some of that energy and emotion, but everybody has something going on in their life, so I'll never sit here and make any excuses. You have to be able to, in order to be a true champion, you really have to throw that stuff aside and get in there and perform, and it's one of those things, it's like, man, if things aren't going this good, a win would at least make things better. At least I've managed my heart a little bit better, but no, that it is easier to not have to worry about things that are going to be heavy on the heart. But that doesn't mean there aren't other stresses in life that I deal with now. And I'm very happy with where I'm at now. I enjoy my job. That's all I have to really worry about right now is me. And so it's definitely kind of a refreshing feeling. But like I said, you never know when there's going to be something else that comes up that's going to be tugging at my heart in another way. So.
Obviously you're such a great striker and you're known for that, but I feel like you made a statement against Megan with your work on the canvas. Was that a point you were specifically trying to make?
I knew that it was there, and I knew that I could use it at any time in my fights to come, because I had been working so much with mixed martial arts, not just stand-up. And I was able to actually use it in a fight, and so other people were able to see I have been working on other things. It's funny, you put like a post on social media of like doing strength training, they'll be like, you need to get out of the gym and start doing a little more of your striking. Or if you put up a video of like you doing striking, they're like, why don't you ever work on your ground game? Yes, because all of my training I just put for you guys to watch. I know that that's just, people want to be like that, but yes, it's been something that I've been working on since I started MMA, and I have definitely been able to finally kind of be able to show that, and it's been a while coming. I didn't have my first grappling class until I literally was in training camp for my first MMA fight, and I was already, I think, 29 years old. So I started a whole new career, at 30 basically, and so I was a little bit. I knew my career would be on a fast pace, an accelerated path, and I was okay with that. And there's times that maybe it caught up to me, and times that I should have capitalized on things. Maybe believed in it. Maybe I already knew a little bit before. Maybe I'm just finally believing in it now. But I know that I'm very confident in a lot of the aspects of my game now. So.
Last question. Speaking of social media, you and Michelle, when are you putting out the next dance video?
I know. We talk about it sometimes. The level up video was just. I actually told her one day in the gym. I was like, we should do a level up video. I think it'd be fun. And she was like, oh, yeah. And it was like kind of like past when everybody had been doing it. I'm like, who cares? It'll be fun anyway. I was like, but I know you're training for she was training for a fight at the time. And I was like, so let's just do it whenever you can, because obviously this is not that important. Right. And then, I don't know. Towards the end, she's like, hey, I told her, I said, hey, if you have any chance, whatever. I think the third time I asked her, I was like, don't feel any obligation. She's like, what, let's do it this Friday. So I went over Friday. We just kind of did it in her bedroom. And boom, then it went viral. We weren't thinking it was going to go viral. It was just kind of something fun we were doing together. So I've only put up one solo dance video since then, just in my living room hanging out. But we always talk about doing another video. I'm sure one will come soon.
Keep them coming. They're a lot of fun. Best of luck against Amanda.
Thank you. I appreciate it.